Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Get Rich 101. I'm your host. I am Sekou Writes, and here is my book, my most recent book. Where is it? Here it is. Hack Your Pain Now. Hack Your Pain Now. Definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. All right. So that said, shout out to New Thought Media Network. Shout out to New Thought Media Network. Thank you for letting me grow. I appreciate you. All right, and here we go. So as you know, this is going to be a lot of exuberance from me today, and I won't be talking about money. I got to talk about this weekend. So I'm going to share a couple things with you. First of all, hurricanes were predicted. And I said Friday, right here on the show, I said, ain't nobody got time for no hurricanes. I came down here from New York to Nashville. I'm going to run in this run. I'm going to run in this race. And yeah, and it was raining that day. It was raining that morning, but I didn't have time. I didn't have time. Any mess. I went out there, and I got out there, and it was raining, sprinkling a little bit, but it went away, and the vibe was there. The vibe was on, and the beats were there, and so many people were there, and everyone was there to lend their support. So yeah, that's that part. So what you were waiting to hear is, did the race actually happen, even though there are hurricane warnings? Yes, the race happened. So I guess around 7:45 or 8 a.m. It got started, and we're off. So now I'm going to share with you some of the things that you would have gotten this if you had a smartphone. If you had a smartphone, we've gotten these already, but I'm going to share these with you, and I'm going to talk about them as I go. All right? Here's one. Look at that. So now, first of all, as you notice, I'm wearing a suit jacket. Now, as you also know, ain't nobody else in this photo wearing a suit jacket. Now, Demetrius does it every year in a full suit. And I was like, wow. One day I'm gonna do this run, and one day I'm gonna rock a suit. And I was like, well, I'll rock a blazer, right? And this got so much attention. The fact that I was wearing a suit coat got so much attention from other runners, from other people who had stopped on the side of the road to check out the race. Like, it got so much attention. People were like, well, I'm underdressed. I feel underdressed. And so everybody was commenting about the suit jacket every time I was about to take it off. Someone else would comment. And I was like, all right, well, I'll leave it on a little bit longer. And then after a while, the coat blended into me. Now, I don't know how else to say that, because I know it's a weird sounding way to say it, but the coat blended into me. And I was just running with it, and it was like there was no difference between a short sleeve shirt and a hoodie or a suit jacket. I thought that was really interesting, and it reminded me of running with my hoodie on, because as you know, I run with my hoodie on a lot. Despite the weather, I still run with my hoodie jacket on. That's because it gives me a barrier. On my right-hand side. It gives me protection, right? And so I need that barrier, and so I often wear my suit jacket. I often wear my hoodie. And so it becomes part of who I am too. So anyway, this was very interesting. That That suit jacket just became a part of who I am. Now, rewind. This was 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I was standing out there on the, well, let me back up a little bit more. 2 years ago, I had my stroke. I had my 2 strokes, right? And I was getting ready for this race. I was getting ready. Had all my things happening for this race. And then the stroke took away everything. I was trying to think of a better way to say that, but that's it. It just took away everything because of the amnesia. The amnesia was strong, and it barred my memory of anything, right? And so I made it out to the run, but I was very, very dazed. I was very, I was very, very caught up. And I was just there to say hi, and bye, right? I said hi and bye, and that's it. And then I was thinking, I need to go to this race. I need to finish my commitment to this race. And something happened the second year, happened the first year. Something kept happening. But this year I was like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. So I flew down here, and hence the thing with the thunder, the hurricane. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? And so this is how I ended up running the race. Yes, well, during the race, running the race Saturday. All right. Now let me play this for you. Let me see if I can get this playing for you. All right. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's so many stories to tell in that reel. There's so many stories to hit you. So this is Demetrius, and he's wearing a full suit, tie, everything, fully. Like, he was really dressed. So he wins the best dress of the year. Oh, he said he's going to bring that back. He said he's going to bring back the best dress of the year. So I got to get ready for next year. All right. So this is him. Let me pull up the next. And then hold on. Oh, I can just press play, right? Yeah, this is me at the end of the race. And I had never seen the end of the race because, as I mentioned, when I made it a couple years ago, I was very fogged. And I didn't see all the giving that was had. All the giving. I mean, Demetrius really shut down. The Steps of Success 5K really gave a lot to a lot of people. And I saw some college students win $500 and were screaming like, "Oh my God, oh my God." Like, really, really, truly blessed. Truly blessed. All right, so let's see what else we got. Demetrius' sister. Now, I did not know that Demetrius even had a sister. I did not even know that Demetrius even had a sister. But she stopped me. This was early in the morning. Was still was hectic, trying to get in my place in line and all the things. And she stopped me and she said, "Sekou, I know you." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "I know you." And I don't know, it was something that carried something more than just a regular person. Like, hey, nice to see you again. She was like, "I know you." And so anyway, after the race, I was talking to her, and man, I don't know what I even asked her. I was just asking, making small talk. I was like, "Hey, so what'd you think of, something?" I can't remember what I asked her, but I remember her answer. Her answer was like, "What?" So she was talking about me running the race, me running the marathon, me running the marathon for the first time. Now that would be 4 months out of having a stroke. 4 months out of having a stroke, me going to run a marathon. It was, uh, it. I mean, it was crazy. I was trying to find a better word, but it was crazy. But I did it, and so she was caught up with so many people watching, and she was watching it at work, and she said she was yelling and she was like screaming, and she was asking me to do well through the computer screen, and I don't even know how she was watching it. I was like, how are you watching it? But anyway, she told me those things, and they brought me back to the marathon, because I don't know if I told you this, but everything that happened to me early on was like in a haze. It happened in a phase. So my entire marathon one was in a haze, right? So I kind of remembered it, but kind of not really. But she brought it back for real. She brought it back for real, and I started thinking about all these people that I didn't even know watching me, rooting for me, and that really felt so good to me. That felt really good. So that was a great thing that that um, uh, oh, sorry, I'm thinking about other things that she said, but let me pause there and move on. Okay, so let me pull back and move on and see what else we got. And yeah, there's I told you about that. Told you about Demetrius where his tie, and this is Aaron. Aaron has been telling this story for a while, and he's been telling the story and telling the story and telling the story. But this time, it finally hooked. It finally hooked. What he said was, "Man, you've changed so much." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you've changed so much. First time you came out, I thought you were like a musician or something." And I remember the first time I came out dressed for. Well, I could see how you could think I was dressed as a musician. I was wearing a fleece coat. You know what fleece is? Like fully fleeced up, a fleece coat, right? I was dressed for campfires, like hanging out. I was covered with clothes, and they were all standing around in their tank tops and their t-shirts and I was like, whoop. And they took off. They took off running and they ran so fast. They ran so fast. This was the first day that I went out for Black Men Run, and I was like, I'm never coming back. I'm not ever coming back because they took off. I mean, they went fast. And ultimately, Demetrius called me. Demetrius was not there the first day. So he called me out of the blue. I know who he was. And he talked to me. He said, listen, man, you were out there with our best of the best. You're out there with our best of the best. You were running with the best of the best. If you could do anything with them, then you could do something. And I was like, all right. And so I came back and came back and came back, and the rest, as you know, is history. So anyway, this is the story. Aaron tells it. He says that I was dressed like a musician, singer, but then I became a runner right before his eyes. Right before his eyes. All right, so that's that. That's that. Any other thing I have to report on this? No. Okay, and there's me. There's me. I took that hoodie off to run. I took that hoodie off to run. Okay, now let me do this one. Right. Now this one is funny. This one is funny. This isn't at the beginning, so I'm going to play and catch yourself to the beginning. Who real like me don't make me kill my seat. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Okay, now look at me. My man is dancing, dancing. Now this is a big deal because this is a true story. Ever since this stroke, I've been unable to dance, right? Because it's not something you think about, but I'm off balance. And this was the first time. This was the first time I've danced in 2 years. In the 2 years it's been since I had the stroke. Yeah, this is my first time dancing. And I don't know what came over me. Well, yes, I do. Yes, I do. What came over me was all the times that I thought about getting back onto this race and not feeling like I was right? But keeping on trying, keeping on trying, keeping on trying, and finally getting there. And I thought the race was a 5K, right? I thought heard that 5, and because of my aphasia, my aphasia got the kilometers, miles mixed up in my head, right? And so I kept thinking I had 5 miles to go. 5 miles to go. So I was thinking, oh man, oh, 1 mile. All right. 2 miles, okay. And then I was gonna run, I was gonna rest on my third mile. Third mile, I have 2 miles left. I'm gonna take a break, and then I was gonna get back in. But my third mile, they were yelling, "You going in? You going in? You finished? You finished?" I was like, "Finished? Finished? Oh!" And I was so happy that I was able to make it, and make it. I did, and run the whole way, no walk breaks, run the whole way with my suit coat on. I mean, yeah, that was something else. And mind you, I didn't care what my time was. People been asking my time. I was like, I don't know. I don't know my time. I saw something said 40 maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. But because I was so inundated, inundated with happiness, and so that's me. That's me. And to know that I can dance, I mean, that was a big one. That was a big one for me. That was a big one for me. Okay, so let me see what else. Let me just see myself dance a little more. All right, see what else we got. Oh yeah, and this I'm gonna try to. Can I rewind it? I don't know if I can rewind it. So I'm just gonna play it, and I'll let it catch up with itself again. But this is Devani, and Devani and I have known each other for years. But during the I don't know what to call it, the upkeep. I don't know if that's the right word. From the stroke, I had to do a lot of things, and one of the things was memorizing people, right? And you guys don't know this because I never told anybody, but you guys would call, and I would stare at the phone. I would just stare at it because it scared me, really. It scared me. I would stare at the phone, and then I wouldn't remember the name, and so the name would go. I let it go, and then I would put the name, copy and paste it into Facebook, and through that, each time he called, that's how I got to know your name, and that's how I got to remember who you were. Because seriously, my amnesia was strong. My amnesia was very strong. I did not remember any of you. So anyway, so Divine and I knew each other, so we had to get to know each other again. And he was there that whatever it was 2 years ago when I came out to the race, and he came out and he said some good words. He said some good words. He said some good words to me about being there and showing my face. And I had to let people know that I was okay enough to walk around and say hi and then leave. But he said the most. And so it was really great that it was him that actually interviewed me. So this is Saturday night. This is the after party at that hotel, the Hutton. I think it's the Hutton. I think so. Anyway, here we go. I'm gonna play this right quick. It's about 3 minutes.
2 flats on the Cadillac, right? Yeah, we do. So last year, Sekou was here at the race, and Sekou was at the race, present with us. Sekou had just had a massive stroke.
Oh my God.
2 massive strokes. And he was there and he was smiling. And I looked at him and I said, he's struggling to smile, but it's okay, baby. You good. We're just glad to see you. And he's gone through so much. Right before that, I have to mention to you guys that this fella, this very courageous fella, went to New York, okay, and ran in the marathon right before that incident happened.
Oh no.
No, was that after?
4 months after.
My first marathon.
I ran my first marathon, first one I've ever run. I ran it 4 months after my first stroke.
Wow. Correct.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And the funds that he raised through his campaign came right to Transformation Life Center.
15,000.
Now listen, before I
just have to announce that too. I gave $15,000.
Yes.
Yes, and I raised that money during the marathon.
Yes.
During the marathon.
because you were so special to us in so many different ways, and we go back like 2 flats on the Cadillac. Right?
Okay, so that's it.
Yeah, we do.
That's all.
So last year, Sekou was here at the race, and Sekou.
So I recorded a little bit more that's available on social media. But yeah, that was really that was really cool. Laughing at P King. P King's like, you better grab that mic and tell them your story. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that was funny. But I had no nothing like that happened for me. It's just really I want to get the things right. I want to get the things right because I want to honor Demetrius well. I want to honor him well. And so, yeah. And after that, you'll see me do a couple things. I said, I can't remember what he said. So Devani gave me the mic and said, anything you want to say? And, and I talked about dancing. And I didn't tell them, like I'm telling you now, that I've not danced in 2 years. In 2 years, I've not danced in 2 years. So that was a big deal. That was a big deal for me. Ashe. So yeah, big doings. All right, so let me pull him down and let me get into his comments and see what we got. Yes. Okay. Let's see. B is saying Sekou ran his first marathon in New York less than months from your stroke. Yeah, 4 months, I think. I really don't know. I really don't know because my sense of time was really spooky. Like when people were saying to me, and it's in 4 months, I was like, 4 months? What is a month? I was like, I couldn't concentrate on what a month was. But then people talking about like it's next week. I was like, what? So yeah. Anyway, and can't nobody tell my story about it. I appreciate that, Pete. I appreciate that. But I appreciate having Devani there. I really did. And he made my story come out. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate your saying that I can tell my story because I don't feel like I can tell my story. Like I feel like I should have told people that it was my first time dancing in 2 years, right? But I was feeling nervous and but anyway, it came out well. All right, let's see. What else? What else? Yeah. How much? What was the race and how much? Okay. Now, mind you, my aphasia be messing up now. The Steps of Success 5K. This was the 14th or 15th annual, and they raised 69,000. I don't remember. I don't remember the aphasia, like little things like that. Just escaped me. But it was a great turnout. I think it was 16,000. Oh, because I raised 15,000. I raised 15,000 for Demetrius and for everything he does, and I think there's some synergy. I think my 15 grand and their 16 grand. I don't know. But anyway, it was a great beat. Great beat. Okay, let's see. Any other quotes? B King is writing it up. Become a runner, yes, because your mind and body was preparing to survive a stroke. That's real. That's real. Because, let me just make this quick now. The type of stroke that I had, there are lots of different types. That's one thing you should know by watching me. There are lots of different types of stroke, right? The type of stroke that I had was lethal. Right? And you know what stopped my stroke from stopping me? What stopped my stroke from stopping me was running because I was in such good shape that I fought off the stroke. I fought off the lethal stroke. So that is really enough of a handhold right there. That's hardcore right there. That's hardcore. All right. So I think that's it. Yeah, I was really blown away by everything that happened, and also I'll say this before I go. I'll say this, that during the after party was also a bit of a struggle because I have not done an after party. Now I know you're thinking that's just whatever, but not for me though. Not for me. So being in a space with speakers and loud music, and I couldn't hear, and it was a lot for me. It was a lot for me to deal with, and I hung in there. I didn't tell anybody. I told Demetrius' sister that it was hard for me to hear, but I had a little trouble with that. But I hung in there, and there was a time that I wanted to leave. There was a time when I wanted to leave. I went outside, and I was like, "No, Sekou, you fight through it. You must fight through it. You must fight through it." And I came back inside, and that's when Devani called me up to come on stage. So I would have missed that. I would have missed that entirely if I had left when I wanted to. But I had to fight. I'll show you, because you have to fight in all these small ways. But to everyone who's out there who has somebody who has a stroke like me, you've got to tell them. Message from me, that this is going to be the hardest thing you have to do. This is going to be the hardest thing you have to do. You have to fight every day. Every single day. There's no days off. You got to fight every single day. Ashe. All right, folks. It was a very very fun weekend. It was a very fun weekend. And I was tired. I'm tired. So I'm tired, but I made it. I made it through, and I finished the Steps for Success 5K, and I'm in the books as one of those people that finished the race. I shared. So thanks for being here, and remember that now is not perfect. Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Now is better than perfect? Yes, now is better than perfect. Now is better than perfect. Because if I waited, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, see you guys later.